Good morning everyone, it's Midlife Game-ist here today, and I'm doing a little feature called 12 months on, and what I'm going to do each month at the end of the month is have a look back on what games came out 12 months ago, and at the end of that I will then do a live broadcast of one of the games, maybe something that people wouldn't expect or may have missed over one of the bigger games that came out. During March 2018 there were a total of we had Rangi, Hex Tunnel, Bravo Team, Knockout League, the American Dream, Audio Beats, Happy Drummer, Arc Park and Preta Vendetta that came out during the month. So a fair few games that came out. I'll start at the bottom. Rangi, if we go in, I'll show you a video of that. It's currently on sale at $3.29. It is a puzzle game, a bit like The Witness, really, where you're linking lines together to complete puzzles. If you like your puzzle games, it's quite a good game to play, and I think for $3.29 the value is pretty good as well. Let's see if I can get the video going for us to have a look at. So graphically it's pretty much in the style of The Witness as well. Sounds quite good. So you can see, yeah, basically a lot of it is manoeuvring things about to complete the paths, so that you can complete the challenges on each stage, link the line. Interesting graphic style. So that's Rangi. It's not bad value for money. Hex Tunnel. It's a bit difficult to describe what this is. It's very much in the style of Vertigo Home. Again, it's $3.99, so it's quite cheap. And basically you make your way down a tunnel, avoiding obstacles like you do in Vertigo Home. Graphically, I would say not as good as Vertigo Home, and if you can, you see graphically, it looks a little bit blurry. It's difficult to spot obstacles as well. Yeah, so I personally, if I was going for either one, I would probably go for Vertigo Home as the better of the two games. So obviously Vertigo Home's a little bit more expensive as it's only just come out. So that is Hex Tunnel. Then probably the biggest release and the most anticipated release of March 2018 was Bravo Team. Now, I'm not sure, this always gets slated by people. Graphically, I thought it was okay. Game-wise, yeah, it's really a point-to-point shooter, really. I think everybody was expecting it to be what Firewall turned out to be. But if you wanted a point-to-point shooter, it was pretty good at that, and I got quite a lot of hours of enjoyment out of it. I think the things that people got upset about were the way that you manoeuvred to the cover point, which they tried to do by either pointing your gun or pointing your head and then clicking a button, and then you ran to it. But then it took you out of the experience by when you ran to that cover point, you saw it in third person, and pretty much the same as well. You could call to your AI to sort of give you CPR, and it would take you out of that as well, that experience as well. And obviously VR is all about being immersed in gaming, and I think that on those occasions where it takes you out of the experience, that ruins it a little bit. But at $24.99, and it uses the aim controller. It was sold with the aim controller, second game to be sold like that. I still think it's good value for money, and I still play it every now and then, and I'll do a live stream of it in the near future. So that was Bravo team. Knockout League. Now, to me, this is a more cartoony version of Creed. It's in the sort of Punch Out. If you sort of think of Punch Out, cartoony graphics, but sort of Wii style. It's sort of a bit almost like a rhythm game where you learn their moves, dodge out the way, and avoid their super attacks, a bit like that one there, and try and work out each of the characters' special moves and their movements. But it's again $24.99. If you haven't got Creed, then it's a good fun boxing game, very good cartoony graphics, and I would say worth waiting for it to come out in the sale. Then the comedy game really for me of the month was American Dream. Now this game is a wave shooter, but a wave shooter with a difference. Basically typical America, all about guns, and has a storyline with the guns that you sort of continue through, a little bit like a slow roller coaster, and then you go into sort of wave shooter mode, but it's wave shooter mode with a difference, where it'll give you tasks like working in a burger bar, or shooting random targets, eating donuts with your gun. It's done with a very, very comedic sort of talk over. Again, it's $15.99 at the moment, and if you want a wave shooter with a little bit of difference, then yeah, I'd recommend it. Audio Beats. Now there was 2 rhythm games that came out in March 2018. The first one, Audio Beats, let me see, it's got sort of J-pop music, and it's very simplistic graphic wise. It sort of reminds me of like a mobile phone rhythm game really in its simplicity, but it does ramp up the skill level very, very quickly, and for me it's the more realistic sort of drumming rhythm game of the 2 that came out. So it's purely down to choice whether you like your J-pop or you want something more cartoony, which was Happy Drummer. Now you might have seen me, I've did this one quite recently. It's graphically cartoony, it's done with a sense of humour as well, sort of prehistoric times, got dinosaurs and things going on in the background, but as you would have seen, in my live broadcast, it does ramp it up, the difficulty, very, very quickly. And some of the scores, I don't know how people have done it, because I was all over the place. I, I found it very difficult to sort of do everything that they ask you to do and concentrate on the screen. So my coordination isn't brilliant, so I found it quite difficult. But of the two games, I preferred this one, to be quite honest. Happy Drummer. I think it's the same price as well. It's $11.99 when it's not in a sale, but you can usually pick it up for about $3.99. So it's worth waiting. And of the two, I preferred Happy Drummer over Audio Beats. Now, the most expensive game of the month is Ark Park, and maybe the most disappointing as well. Now, I haven't got this one myself. It's currently on sale at $18.99, so it might well be worth a look now. All the sort of comments that I saw, discussions about the game, and I've tried to look up to see if the controls have been upgraded, updated, but I can't see that it actually has. And people were asking for free movement, because the point and click mechanism that you use with the Move controllers isn't great. It basically, you have to sort of teleport, but the way that you teleport with the move and the use of your head is quite slow, and yeah, it's not great, which is a bit of a disappointment. But it's multiple genres as well. So I think they were trying to latch on to the Jurassic World at the time film with the dinosaurs, and you can sort of do crafting. You can look for eggs to hatch and raise your own dinosaurs, and you can ride some of those dinosaurs on it's a preset path where you're basically sitting on the back of them and admiring the scenery. A lot of people say graphically, style-wise, it's not fantastic, but to me, as long as it's not blurry, and if it's not realistic, that might not be what they're going for, then those sort of things aren't overly important to me. It's the immersion of it that gets me, and I think the controls sort of ruin the game a little bit. It's also got a wave shooter where when you do go out exploring and crafting, you'll come across areas where you have to hold off and dinosaurs will attack you in waves, obviously progressing through to a T-Rex or something at the end that you have to shoot with your guns. So people say if you stick with it, there is a good game there. So maybe it's worth a look at $18.99, but at $44.99, I think that's a little bit too expensive, the game. And the final game of the month is the one that I'm going to be showing you in a little while. It's called Predator Vendetta. I've only just bought it and downloaded it myself. I think it was on sale. I'll have to have a look, and I'll let you know in the live broadcast what the cost of it is. As you can see, it's an RPG game. It looks interesting. I think it's seen from a third-person perspective, so a bit like following Moss about. So you're sort of slightly behind or above the character, and it's some of the combat looks more like God of War to me. Where you do some special moves and constantly beating the characters. But I'll see from the controls whether it is a sort of more of a combo sort of fighter where you link your moves together to get a super move eventually and then absorb their souls. If it's anything like that, then to be quite honest, it'll be sold on me. Graphically it looks okay. I think it's multiplayer as well, so you'll be able to go in with a team. And I don't really play many of these types of games, so it'll be a different experience for me. I played The Wizards earlier in the month when it came out, and that was all right, but it was a little bit difficult for me to see and control some of the actions. I thought the actual way that you could use your hand to hand movements and gestures to create spells and create your weapons was fantastic, but they didn't always work. So yeah, I'll be interested definitely to see how this one goes. So yeah, Predator Vendetta Rising will be the game that for March 2018 that I will be sort of looking at and playing through. Thanks very much, guys. This Midlife Game-ist. Hope that's helped you have a look at some of the games that were out 12 months ago, and it gives you an idea of how VR's progressing, the types of games that are coming out, the wide range of games that come out, really, the different styles. I think that is the good thing about VR. There doesn't seem to be set genres that people are concentrating on. They're still experimenting, and it's quite exciting for us all who are playing VR games to see that. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you all again soon. Cheers. Bye bye.